Greetings. It's been about 5 months now that I've been using this stand-up walker on the trails here in Sitka, Alaska. And I thought I'd make a report about these walkers and everything else. I've made about 41 videos of the different trails in the area that I've walked or tried to walk. You know, back in the 1960s, when the Vietnam War veterans, wounded, injured, disabled, started to come home, they put them in those horrible hospital wheelchairs. Heavy, unmaneuverable, and pretty much, I guess, they wanted to leave them as cripples. Well, the mentality of our health professionals hasn't changed much. Of course, back then, the Vietnam veterans got together with their hacksaws and their flyers and screwdrivers and drills, and they built wheelchairs you could actually use and take out on a trail. We're kind of at that point now with these walkers. You know, they're designed great for a hospital. They're okay for sidewalks unless you've got solid wheels. If you've got small solid wheels, a crack in a sidewalk can send you on your nose. Then they got these rollators, I guess you call them. They stand up, and then they have to stand up walkers. But you know, in a store, sidewalk, mostly indoors, in a hospital, a physical education department, I won't even talk about that, how they ripped me off over the years. Oh, that's good coffee. So what is a person supposed to do? If you're just a person who walks a little bit outside on pretty well groomed trails, one of these stand-up walkers is probably okay, even a rollator. Unfortunately, they are not really designed for people who are over 5'10". Now, fortunately for me, I'm only 5'9", and I find this one too short. And what they need are bigger wheels. You know, give me a couple bigger wheels and I'll gain a couple inches or an inch and a half. But unfortunately, you know, these things are designed by people, you know, in them high up buildings that never get out and do anything. I doubt any of them were field tested. Which frustrates me because I would like to get maybe this one fixed or bigger parts. But because they're designed by people who I don't think really care whether or not you get out on a trail or not if you're old and disabled. They're in it for the money. And unfortunately, all these things seem to be made, foreign made. So try to get a manufacturer to custom make something that'll work. That's why I'm saying this is stand-up walker, you know, beware. Unfortunately, they don't listen to the people that need them. Just like the professionals back in the 60s and 70s wouldn't listen to the Vietnam veterans. They finally had to just bypass them. Maybe that's what we got to do with these walkers. I don't know. All I know is I'm extremely frustrated. I mean, if you take any of these walkers with a solid, hard wheel, a small pebble could flip you right over, stop you dead in your tracks, make you fall off the side of the trail. Well, people will say, man, you shouldn't take those things out on the trails. Why the hell not? Anyway, you can tell I've been frustrated with this thing. I talked to the company that makes this one, and it's called Oasis Space, and unfortunately it's made in China, I think. What do they care about me or you or anybody else? They just want to sell their stuff. So I think, like I said, I think we're probably at the same place the military veterans were in the 60s and 70s. Unfortunately, too much of our things are designed by people who have a lot of head education but no common sense. And then you've got a government that comes in with all these stupid little regulations that limit people from building things that work. So yeah, this has frustrated me. So anyway, let's take a look at what I found here. I'll show you some close-ups and explain how well it's held up. Well, overall, this walker has worked pretty well. But I think we need to go over a few things and take a look at it much closer. Yeah, I like these hand and arm rests. They work really well. Brake system. This is the lock. This brakes. I've had no trouble whatsoever with the brake system. And this is it down here. The only trouble I've had is occasionally got snow or something, or one time I had a rock got caught in there. Other than that, it's held up pretty good. The frame is excellent. This frame is sturdy, lightweight. I like the frame. However, the bars here need to be longer for someone who's over 5'8". I got it maxed out, and I probably should only have it up here. But yeah, this whole assembly should be an inch or so longer. The seat's pretty sturdy. It's held up pretty good. It gets a little dirty and I hit something or put something sharp in there and cut it. But this whole assembly, you know, folds up and allows you to put it in a vehicle. Probably by itself it's 20 pounds or better. You can lift it into a back of a car or SUV pretty easy. Unless you're somebody like me, it puts about 10 pounds of gear in the bag. In the bag. It's trouble is it's not completely waterproof because it's got this mesh. I suppose that's to keep it aired out, but yeah, it's got kind of a funky zipper on it. Let me just spread this thing out here. I'm taking a better look at it. Yeah, I would, I don't know, you couldn't put a bigger bag on it. It holds quite a bit of stuff, but got a funky zipper system. It's workable. I've heard other people have ripped theirs already. Pretty much I'm happy with it. You know, things that can change would be, you know, the tires, of course, are too small for someone who does outdoor walking in rough terrain. Now, this one needs a little air in it now. I would put these size tires on the back here, and then that's a 12. I think you can get 14s. I'd have to, this piece right here, I'd have to get somebody to weld a little section on here to put a 14-inch tire. But the width of this tire and the 14 are the same, so because you'd end up hitting up here if you didn't have enough room. Well, that's one thing I was thinking of doing, was extending, putting a bigger bar here, extend it out, put a 14-inch tire here, and then put those 12 tires over here. Yeah, this thing comes apart here, and you could dismantle this thing pretty rapidly, taking off these things with these clips here, which is a good deal if you had to put it in a tighter area, or if you had to put it in a box or something, or needed it to ship with. But anyway, you know, for someone who's walking around a hospital room, or somebody that's shopping center, walking around a retirement home, indoors, on most sidewalks, okay, this is okay. But for somebody who needs to come out into the woods and wants to have a real life, you know, the way it is, it's just, it works, but it doesn't work. So as you can see, these stand-up walkers, there's a lot of them out there now. And I guess they call what the short ones are rollators, where you walk around till your back goes out. Anyway, for what they're made for a hospital environment, I guess they're okay. But let's face it, there's a lot of us who are disabled, injured, have all kinds of problems. You know, we want to be outside. We want to be on the trails. And I'm not talking about going up trails with big rocks and roots and straight up and straight down. I'm talking about some basic trails. And also, a lot of people like to still hunt, fish, go on a picnic, maybe go down the beach, maybe go camping. Let's say you had to walk into a camping area that you liked real well. You drive, you park your vehicle, and there's a tent camping area. It's a 1/4 mile away. Maybe you'd like to camp there. It'd be awful difficult to take this thing. You'd have to put a backpack to put on your camping gear. But I saw something the other day that might work. And if my health doesn't deteriorate too much more, I think that might be my next purchase. It's one of those stand-up jogging child carriers. You've probably seen people with them. Ladies jogging down the trail with a child in the front. There's one company called Bob's that makes one where the handles, excuse me, this thing's kind of narrow, but the handles can be lifted up high enough that somebody who is 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" could stand up straight and push one of those things. They've got 3 wheels, which makes them far more maneuverable. They got brakes. They've got rubber wheels, pneumatic tires. They're extremely stable. They're holding a child. You know, leave the child out. Put a big duffel bag in there, inside that jogging stroller. And you can go all kinds of places with that thing. You could put, I read the other day, you could put 75 pounds worth of gear in that thing and push it around. Extremely maneuverable. I tried one here in Sitka. A lady came by with one. I asked her to try it out. Worked pretty slick. And those extra big wheels, my gosh, what a difference. They'd be far safer than one of these things. Especially if you had to buy one with the smaller hard wheels. You might as well just go out and drive off the cliff with it right away and get it over with. But anyway, you could put your camping gear in there. People could go hunting. People could go fishing. You could go on long hikes. You could stay overnight because you got your camp. You could put your tent in there. You could put a small cooler in there. You could put your stove in there. Hell, I'm sure thinking about it. And it looks like the only ones that make one that have a extending handle is the one made by Bob's, it's called. They are very expensive. They're 2-3 times as much money as one of these Glenbride stroller things. I wouldn't even call that a stroller, but these walkers. Oh man, that's good coffee. But anyway, I had to get it off my chest, and I think it's for people who are in the hospital, yeah, ignore me. If you're just home all the time, just ignore me. If you're one of them, what do they call physical education, professionals, ignore me, because I ignore you. Oh, it cost me a lot of money for nothing. Anyway, physical therapists or whatever, doctors, oh gosh, don't get me on that. Anyway, that's my suggestion. One of these will work great, for what it's designed for. And maybe even very limited walking outdoors on trails, across grass, across gravel, or down an ocean beach, I don't know. But if you really want to get outdoors, you've got to me it looks like two options. We will wait to somebody, which might be who knows when, to build one of these for us. Or we go the route of getting the child jogging stroller. I know I might look kind of stupid with some old guy pushing the stroller with no kid in it, but you take that part out, and you could put a great big duffel bag. Oh, I could put a lot of coffee in there. Take your favorite beer. You take whatever you want. Take a bed if you wanted to in there. Roll it all up. Camping gear, fishing gear, hunting gear. Who knows what it is? You can go lots of different places. And you can go uphill. It's got the brakes. You can go downhill. And it's far more maneuverable with that 3 wheels than this 4-wheel is. So anyway, I got it off my chest. I've upset all the professionals, and I don't give a shit, but I told the truth. So thank you for coming and listening to my video. Great coffee.